template, the router template, the HIT-41HS2. And before I try to order this, I just need to ask a question. I'm doing it a little bit differently. I have a set of French doors, wooden French doors, and the door that the electric strike is going to go into is wood. And so I couldn't find anything smaller than a HES 5000 to consider routing into this door. The door will have flush bolts on the bottom and the top to keep the door secure. And it's a server room application, so they'll undo the flush bolts on the bottom and top if they ever need both doors open. Would this router template work for that?
Well,
the door is if the door is about 1 3/4 inch thick.
Well, I mean, the template that you mentioned, which HS2, I think you said.
Yes. Yeah.
Or any template for an electric strike, is going to do that job. But I'm fearful that I'm not understanding the context of the question vis-a-vis your temporary lack of resolution about you using it. What's the heart of the matter?
You're smart. You're much smarter than me, that's for sure. The heart of the matter would be if I secure this template on. It's like two doors, right? It's not a frame. It's a French door, right? So would this technically work if I route this using this template? Because the door is not hollow, of course, it's solid. So I just have to keep making plunges, to get the depth I need. But I'm insecure. I've never done it before, on a wooden and this door, it's a one-time shot only. You know what I mean? It's not something like, oh, we'll just get another door. No, this door is a lot of work to get this door built. So I'm just trying to figure out the best scenario and the easiest way, and whatever I have to buy to do it, I'll buy. And when I saw this video...
Yeah, you're definitely on the right track, and you're exactly correct. Whereas with an aluminum application, you're not going to make multiple passes. With a wood application, you're absolutely going to make multiple passes.
Exactly.
Now, with aluminum, I wouldn't in a frame or a door application, but when I run the CNC, I'm making several exceptionally conservative passes through aluminum. So in essence, that template's going to get applied to the door, and you're just going to route, plunge router, until you've achieved the depth that you need. It'll be a hammer and chisel for the rest. Generally what's used is the manufacturer Major does not provide end mills for doing wood per se.
Yeah, right.
But the end mill that they provide will certainly work. You're going to want what's called an up spiral. And I'm doing this just in the shop. I'm not looking at your catalog. But the up spiral nature will pull the chips up and away. Now, if it was actually me, I would use a compression end mill is what I would use. It is both up spiral at the tip and down spiral at the top, and I would drill a hole, like a 3/4 inch hole with a butterfly bit, into the cavity, and I would plunge down. My first pass would be at maybe 3/8 deep, and I would do a clearing pass with that, because the way that the helix turns, it can go clockwise or counterclockwise. One is called up spiral because as the bit encounters the material, it's actually pulling the chips or the wood fibers up.
Right.
That is great for evacuating chips out of a pocket cavity, which you're doing. It's also great for giving you a clean bottom edge when you plunge through something and you're cutting. The problem is that up spiral nature of the helix will give you a poor quality on the top of the material, which is actually what you're only concerned with. You don't want to rip that wood out and have splinters.
Exactly. Yeah,
so I would be using a compression bit to do this. Now, having said this, I'm saying all this stuff because I run a CNC. The normal, person is just going to use a two straight flute carbide router bit. Done. Dude, you're overthinking it. But if it was me, I would use a better mousetrap. But you'll just use a two flute router bit is what you'll use. But we've got to be really careful to get you the right diameter of the shank and the right diameter of the router bit, so that the guide that you put in is exactly correct. So you really need multiple pieces, but tool-wise, you need 3. You need the template, you need the guide on the base of your router, and then you also need the cutting tool. You have to have all 3. Having said all of this, if you are patient and if you're doing one and you'll never use this template again, you've got to really consider a hammer and a chisel.
Yeah. You mean instead?
Instead of
instead of the cost. The cost, you mean?
You're hundreds of dollars to do one prep.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yeah. 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 Well, it's a great customer. So
then don't.
The cost. The cost is not a concern. Yeah. Right. I'd have to feel like Michelangelo, chipping away, and I know a master woodcraft person would be able to, create even their own jigs. Yeah, make it look really, really nice. So so we got the template, the guide, and then we need the bit. And you said a compression bit. Is that what you were saying?
That's what I would use. What you should do is send me an email, and I'll reply back with a catalog cut of the tool I would use. And it's because with a straight two-flute carbide router bit, that is the industry standard for routing wood doors for hinges and hardware, you still get some splinter, some tear out. You do. Yeah. I'm beyond experienced enough to know it as fact. What you might do, though, is you might take your faceplate and you might outline that, and then you might come in with a utility blade and score the veneer, score the wood fibers, so that when the bit cuts, it's not tearing. Yeah.
And just to let you know, it's not a veneer door. It's a solid door.
Solid.
Yeah. And the other thing is I actually ordered, though, on the 5000 a taller faceplate. I think it was I forgot which one it was, but it was much taller, so that there would be. Yeah, I think it was even taller than that. I think it was like 10 inches, maybe. Something like that.
I would get rid of that. Why are you you know what I mean? Why go with the smallest one possible.
Yeah,
go with the typical 4 7/8 with a 1/4 inch radius.
Okay. I was just only worries I was thinking, Richard, was that when the mortise is cut in the door, how much wood is left for the screw to go into the wood? Where like if you start getting too close to the opening, that it could, we'll do a pilot hole, of course, but I was just thinking more farther away from the opening itself. Does that make sense or no?
Well, it makes perfect sense. No, what you're saying makes sense. It's just actually not how that hardware is not how that hardware is. The mounting points from the strike body to the faceplate don't change from a 4 7/8.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't. Right. Exactly.
So,
right.
I mean, the best hardware is the hardware you never see. And I think the bigger problem that you're going to have to encounter is how are you pulling low voltage through that door? What's the plan there?
When I made the door, Richard, I drilled. Yeah, no, I drilled a hole through the wood. So on the rail where the strike is going, is already a hole there, and so I have it coming out the side, and so with a little what do you call that? Aluminum kind of tubing. I don't know I think of another word. Like that old handset on an old payphone, where it goes from the wall to the
armored
door.
loop.
Yeah, flex. Yeah, exactly right. So I think all that is really, it's good, you know. So it's just a question of doing a really good job on the routing. And I'm thinking, you know, from your site, you know, the template is what I need. So and I don't know
really
if the 5,000 was the right strike even to use in this application.
You know, and it may not be because we don't have all the information. So part of it is the strike you've selected. Do you already have the strike?
I do, but I do access control. So that's, I mean, getting another strike to me is not an issue if it's a better application. Yeah.
So you just have to make sure that the strike is permissible for installation in the composition of the door, meaning not every strike that goes into a metal door can go into a wood door. So you have to make sure on the cut sheet that it's listed for compatible with wood. Number one. Number two, you have to make sure that the depth of the keeper is compatible with the locking hardware that you're using. Meaning that 5,000 is not going to take a mortise latch because the projection of a latch on a mortise lock is too great. It's 10 pounds of sausage in an 8-pound bag. It won't fit. So those two things are the only thing you have to make sure of.